There was one time I felt like I had no fear of, people coming towards me or I'm going to be noticed or something like that. And I've never felt so light in my life.
Explain how a tweet you sent out in defense of your wife ends up being the most retweeted tweet for the entire year in the country of India.
Well, it was ever since we played the World Cup in 2015, and we played a semi-final then as well, and I got out. I did not score many runs, and my wife was there watching the game. And for some reason, people in our country love to blame women. And apparently the reason why we lost was because she was sitting in the stadium and she brought bad luck. It can get to that stage. A person who has no involvement in the game, who's just watching, supporting her husband and the country, suddenly has the most adverse effect on a game. And it started from there. She was regularly being targeted and trolled and being pulled down whenever I didn't do well, and we sensed a lot of insecurity because of her presence around the whole system. And then it got to a stage where, again, some incident happened and people started trolling her, and all those kind of things happened. And then we spoke and she was quite hurt by it. And I thought, well, this has to stop at a certain stage. And then I put out that tweet, and then it got retweeted. But the surprising thing was that it resumed again. I mean,
really?
Yeah. I mean, it was more like, oh, something drastic has happened where this guy stood up for something. It's so good, something good happens. Oh, we believe in it for 4 or 5 days, and then the next opportunity they do the same to her again. So, I mean, we've actually been quite amazed and quite surprised to see so many people finding such pleasure out of pulling someone else down. We never do that to anyone. We've never done that to anyone. We can't even register that. And I think that's the negative side of social media that people find it difficult to process, because so many people are just being happy at the expense of someone else, which is so wrong.
Fame. How does your fame in India impact your ability to lead a normal life?
I don't think that I am even expecting to lead a normal life in India anymore. But the thing is that your priorities change over a period of time. Basically, you can't really go out and do normal things anymore. You can't really say, okay, I'm gonna just get into my car, drive to the shop, to a grocery store and just pick up some stuff and come back. Or
what would happen if you did that?
I'd probably not come back home, or something like that. I would not be allowed to leave. And it's just that I don't blame people for coming towards someone, but I think everyone should understand a sense of knowing that there is a limit to everything, which unfortunately when you have a lot of people, as I said, it's not their fault. They feel like, I want to do my picture and then get done with it. But if that is being said by 200 people around you, then you have to wait for 200 to finish, and it's never ending. So it's very difficult for the person involved to actually draw the line. And then invariably what you stop going to places which can potentially create that environment. And as I said, we don't have any aspirations to lead a normal life, but you have to sort of confine your life in a way and then find joy in other things.
But if you're on the weekend and you decide, I want to go downstairs in my apartment complex and go walk to the nearby store, I mean, that is an impossibility.
Yeah,
for you.
Absolute impossibility. In India, no chance. All we can do is, so we live in an apartment building now, which has a little recreational area. It's a little small park and a pool area and a gym. So all you can do is just go down, sit there, have a cup of coffee if you want. But going out on the streets is absolute no-no.
Explain what Royal Jail is.
So we speak about this a lot on tour. So when we are playing games in India, a royal jail is just being in a hotel and not being able to, go out at all. Just being confined in the area. Okay, there are services, there's everything, but you go to the ground, you come back, you're literally not stepping out of the hotel at all. everything's taken care of, but you just can't go out. So that's what we funnily call royal jail, because you are living a good life, you are getting all the facilities, but you just don't have the option of stepping out. So yeah, I mean, as I said, it is what it is, and you have to accept that situation.
What do you love about the anonymity of overseas cricket tours?
Well, I love just being able to go out for walks, just going to a cafe, as you said, just walking to a cafe and just sit there without being noticed. And I actually, at times there are people who, so if I'm getting a haircut in a place and those people have no idea who I am, and I'm just so happy just waiting there with everyone, just waiting for my chance to get a cut, and someone who recognizes me will come in and say to the owners, do you know who he is? And I shot, they don't need to know, please don't announce it to them. And I'm like, please don't tell everyone who I am. I'm loving this. I'm loving people not knowing who I am. And I don't like people announcing to everyone who I am, even if they don't know me. Because they just start looking at you in a different way then, rather than just treating you like a normal person. And you crave being treated like a normal person, because at the end of the day, as a human being, that's what gives you pure joy. Just being able to walk out and just being able to be at the same level with everyone, just talk to people for the pure organic process of just talking to a human being, not saying this guy is important so I'm going to speak to him. I love having random conversations with people. If they don't know me and they start talking about something, that's the most beautiful thing, because you're connecting at a level which has no judgment, no assumptions, and because you're judged and assumed and presumed all the time, that to me is the most amazing thing to experience.
And when you're on tour in Australia or South Africa, explain why you'll try and avoid making any plans.
Well, because you don't need to. You don't need to plan anything in particular, and it's just the freedom of just having to, just being able to go out there and not having to think of, okay, I'm gonna reach at this place at this time, so you need to have security people ready for me and stuff. It's just so random and spontaneous, and that's just to feel that freedom of, I can just pick up my headphones, just go out for a walk all by myself, or just go out with my teammates, just chill, have a coffee, have a nice meal, go around the shops. I mean, I've actually roamed around the mall in South Africa all by myself for about 2 hours. And I know this sounds like he's talking about something so strange, anyone can do it, but for me to be able to do it all by myself was a revelation. I was like, I put my music on and I was just walking by myself, going from shop to shop. Yes, people recognize me, but that was one time I felt like I had no fear of people coming towards me, or I'm going to be noticed or something like that, and I've never felt so light in my life.